That's what you feel, but they're the best in the world.
No, no.
I don't see why you wouldn't think so when they have a chef, an armorer, a marauder.
Was that the colony?
Ugh.
A captain.
Is that like the nations that they have?
A musketeer. And they even have the engineer.
And the ugly. They got ugly.
Is that like the nations? Like one there?
No, yeah, I guess so. It's like the armies. The
nation probably gonna fuck you up come PvP time, that's for sure.
Please, man. The nation president for probably the only really like warlike one is the Immortal Flames. That's the only real like they seem like that's a real fucking army. The other guys are it's either like all like magic or some other like like it's a different department.
Are the peaceful people.
Yeah.
And the Maelstrom is the naval people.
Yeah.
So depends on what army you're talking about. As far as I know, the Navy's the one that goes to space. I'm part of the space crew.
And not a lot of space in this medieval game.
But I know I'm heading there one day.
Yeah, space isn't usually a setting in a lot of high fantasy.
Do you think they'll do the whole Sid Rocket thing?
No, they're definitely not gonna call it like Shinra number or whatever the fuck.
No,
if they go to space, it'll be surely with magic.
Well,
like
they have a lot of technology in the game.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
but
Magitech stuff.
Like magic technology.
Magitech, like the stuff from Final Fantasy 6. Like a bunch of.
Doesn't it run on magic?
Yeah, okay. It's like works on magic. It's like mixed with magic.
Yeah.
Think of it like if they thought like gasoline was magic or something.
Yeah, kind of.
They call it magic.
Wow.
Which is it's true.
It's an engine running on magic.
This liquid magic.
Yeah, exactly.
On ether.
On ether.
Getting high on that ether dope.
Puffing that ether.
Yeah, that game is awesome. I'm having so much fun. I'm glad everybody else is having fun. We need to get Maui in the game one day.
No, I don't want to have fun.
It's one of those things where I already predicted it 5 years from now is when you finally get in the game. And then
you'll regret every single day that you spent not in it.
No.
It's like Final Fantasy 11.
I feel like I shouldn't jump on an MMO.
You don't even know like how it is. It's not even like how 11 is.
It's just I know it's gonna demand so much time from me.
Not really. No.
Not at all.
It's a very casual game.
In fact, look. How far did you get in the story of Final Fantasy 11?
I really can't gauge it. But I didn't know how far in.
Yeah, it may as well been nothing, right? Because you may have just skimmed the surface of it.
Maybe.
All right, Alex is done with the story.
But
he's been playing a month.
But how many updates is the game undergo?
It hasn't had like
it just came
a single update.
There's no expansion or anything. Right?
Not yet. I don't think for 2 years they won't have an expansion.
Yeah, I forget
how many story missions did Final Fantasy 11 when it came out fresh?
Oh, when it came out fresh, there was one expansion to it, and it was the Rise of the Zillard. But in defense,
like one Rise of the Zillard mission.
In defense to that, it was a continuation of the main story, which was only, I think, up to the level 50, and the story quests was every 10 levels. So I think it was only like 5. Every 10 levels was like a story quest kind of thing.
Because since I jumped into that game the other day, I got it with a bunch of expansions, and I got with like everything that I had at the time that they added.
But you saw nothing of it.
No.
That's the sad part.
You paid for all this shit and you never even get to see it.
The weird part about that game was that people found ways to navigate how to level through the story content without actually doing the story content, like going all the way to
the White Gate just to grind, to do any White Gate missions.
Yeah, so you'll go to White Gate, you'll see the cutscene for it, right? You'll see characters you don't even recognize that I'm sure are important to the story.
Man, I hate White Gate so much because it the way you guys feel about the Dunes of Algrim Dunes. That's how bad I felt about White Gate, because from level 55 to 75 I was in White Gate.
Damn,
in the same jungle, I had to turn on all the music. Fighting those birds that do the tickle thing.
Yeah,
I was there for like a month.
That's the thing. It's a completely different experience because they streamline leveling so perfectly, and you can. It's just a completely different experience, and you could just level in any of the 3 different cities, and you get tired of one, and you don't. I prefer doing things near where I started because I know the place better. You know,
it's one of those things where you kind of Like how he talks shit about the Maelstrom, and I'm very for the red. And I didn't start the game off like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just that, I picked Arcanist. Arcanist starts off in Limsa Lominsa. The Maelstrom is part of Limsa Lominsa, and as you do the story quests, you become recruited, and you find out more about them, and you're like, oh, this is badass.
It's cool. Like, there comes a part in the story where they all want you to be part of their faction. So they kind of set up these 3 different speeches, and it's each one talking about like their history,
trying to recruit you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
And then you end up having to choose, and then you choose, and then you go on whatever. Like, it doesn't change a whole lot, but is
it like a fraternity where like they go and they try to sell it to you, and then like, oh, I really like this guy, and they put their name on the list, and then that school can be like, no, I really don't like that guy. Tell them we can go with like Hufflepuff or whatever.
Gryffindor? I don't know. It's not like that. You basically get to choose. The whole thing about the story is that you are the main character, and because of you, everything is possible. So the game wastes like no effort on like just making you feel like you're the ultimate like badass.
So they give you discounts immediately.
Man, every time you run into someone, like later on in the game, like after like level 20, like they start talking about you. They're like, oh, you're that guy who did this.
Time.
Oh, you're the guy who did that. Like
my son.
So like it's almost awesome in the sense that you have like this recognition from like previous quests that you did, and as you progress from there, like you get just more recognized. You talk to NPCs, they're like, hey, you're that guy. You did this. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty cool.
I know you.
I see
you. I've seen you in my dream.
I've seen you way before in Treasures of stupid expansion from Final Fantasy VII. The Treasures of
I've seen you in my dreams.
But the coolest thing about the game, and like in the updates that it seems like they're doing, because right now the next update they're adding this thing called the Crystal Tower, which is one of the final dungeons in Final Fantasy III.
Yeah.
And you're going to be able to fight bosses from Final Fantasy III.
Oh, that is really cool.
And there's a lot of, like, they link up all the games that way. Like, there's Magitech armor. Like, he has the mount now that he's riding a Magitech armor thing.
Awesome.
And it looks just like the Yoshitaka mount.
No, it does. I've seen it.
Yeah. It's really
I don't know if I posted that screenshot.
Yeah,
I saw you.
That's on the album.
I saw it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. But it's awesome. They mix everything really well, and it's one of the theories that I had like right from the bat that like the whole like reboot was going to be this thing where it was like Final Fantasy 14 world, everybody's just going to appear in it, and like it's almost like my main theory was that the world was Final Fantasy 1, but it has all the pieces from every single Final Fantasy. You know what I mean? Because you have like the Garlean Empire, which is based off Garland.
Right.
The one of the main characters, Sid, his last name is Garland, but it's not with an A, it's with an O. You know what I mean? So, and his father's the Emperor, which it says it on the website, so it's not really like spoilers.
Yeah,
but, you know, like.
So then why did they fuck up the Bard?
The Bard is awesome now.
Yeah, Bard's fine, man.
Bard is actually better than it was in Final Fantasy 11 because one of the main gripes that a lot of people had with the Bard, and it's why they mixed it with the Archer, is because the Bard was considered the support healer. And they were like, we already have a support healer with the Red Mage, we already have a support healer with Dancer, we already have a support healer with these other stuff.
For the most part, it's a lot of people wanted Bard Ninja more than Bard White Mage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also one of the things that they got rid of, like that weird like multi-classing thing where now you just get certain skills from each
I would get really lucky because at higher levels, for some reason, you have to completely remove the White Mage the sub job, and they ask you, oh, we need you to be a sub ninja. And I was like, well, fuck that. Number one, I'm not gonna spend an insane amount of fucking gil on the stupid ass scrolls. And doing the missions were a pain in the ass, so I never really touched ninja.
Yeah.
So then I was like, fuck it, I kept White Mage because that way I could at least do support heals. But at later levels, they don't even want the Bard healing at all, which sucks.
So yeah, now the Bard basically he's an archer, or she's an archer depending on when you play. But it's you are DPS and support. So not only do you contribute damage towards the monster, with your damage as like they have like the bard songs that also damage. They have the bard songs that support.
In the demonstration, they didn't show that many bard songs, so I don't know how deep they dive into
What's funny is
the
that
music list for that guy.
Some of the end game stuff that I've done already. It's almost like remember how you used to play your bard? You would interrupt your songs by switching out gears and shit like that, but it would continue casting and shit like that. The same shit happens in this game. They have a ton of songs that they can sing. So what they have them do in the end game fights, they were bitching at one of the bards because they're like, "You're not interrupting fast enough. You gotta interrupt, cast, so that we can beat this boss faster." And it's basically you go through your entire bard rotation by you do one of the songs while you're in the middle of it. You do a DPS skill that it has like an animation where he charges up the bow or something, and that continues the song. So when he finally shoots the bow, like it cuts the song in half.
Okay.
So and it considers it like it's fully casted. So it's like the interrupt method. So then it would just constantly do that. Put as many buffs on as you can. Boom, 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 and just keep switching between songs.
Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's very like fast paced, and because he's an archer, you see him constantly pumping out damage. He's not just stuck in the back lines, just singing songs and kind of like
So what is Jeff playing then?
Jeff is everything.
I think his main is Gladiator, or I think he's a Paladin now.
That's Pablo's main too.
Yeah, it's because if you're a tank, you just go through
everything,
like all the instances real quick. You get in the queue like that.
A tank is almost considered like a currency in the game. Like, I'll trade you a tank if you.
So because a lot of people are stupid in that fucking game. Because a lot more people are playing it than before. And they don't know it's like, oh, this is my first MMO and I really like it, and I'm going into this thing. It's like, alright, look, attack only the one that I've marked. Like you can select them, then you put a mark on them, and I have like a number 1 on them. It's like, alright, focus on the one that has the mark on it. Okay. And just run goes away. He
just leaves the dungeon.
Yeah.
He says, whoop.
Gone. It's fucking idiots. I don't know shit.
Anubis Jax.
Oh my god.
Fucking Anubis Jax.
Jesus Christ. I don't need to use backstab. What an asshole.
Well, sorry for the backstab. What? Just kick him out of the party. No.
What's the shape of Italy?
So welcome back to the podcast after a long hiatus. After some haters.
Super long break.
Yeah, it was because Jeff came down and
it was a winter break.
Yeah,
it was
winter.
This podcast is dedicated to Jeffrey.
In the summer,
you look so different.
Jeffrey, you look different now.
And look, I just wanted to tell Jeff that to take it easy. It's just a cup of coffee.
I wanted to tell Jeff, why do you have a problem telling me what your level is? I just want to know.
He's competing with you.
I've asked you like a million times already, and I have not gotten a response.
He doesn't like you.
Really?
I don't know. I guess he felt like he was competing or racing with you.
Really?
I don't know.
Well, I fucking win.
Yeah, I know you win.
Oh my god.
Not only do I win, but I have my relic.
Look,
here.
I just hope that the board has a sleep song.
He does.
Yes.
And he has a mass sleep song too.
Good.
I think
Bagger
is the white mage who has the mass sleep song, but I've seen it done before.
I think one of the first things I told Alex when I was playing the game was like, man, you would fucking just love this game.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have any of the bad stuff that Final Fantasy 11 had. There's no like, oh man, I gotta wait for a party. I've never waited for shit in that game. For nothing.
Never waited to take a shit
at all. You're just always doing some shit, and things are nearby,
and you remember the dudes,
fast.
Right? Yeah. You remember the
Well, the best way to put it is that everything that you loved about Final Fantasy 11 is in this game.
Quiffum is in this game?
Massively improved. Massively improved. And all the zones are just perfect. Like, you go in... If you're like me... I love doing the quests, and I read every single quest, every single thing, and I'm really interested in like the story and the world because it's inviting. Like you're in that world, and it seems like it's alive. You know what I mean? There are NPCs everywhere. They have cool little effects that if there's a lot of people like congregating in an area, like you hear like murmurs, like people talking and exchanging conversations and laughing, and it's really really cool. And like the same effect while you're in the battlefield, like you'll have like people. Like doing fates, like big fates, but you'll just hear like people, and you'll hear like clashing metal and like someone getting hurt, like and then it's really cool.
Is it like Juno that when you pass by the auction house, like everything's fine, but then when you pass by the auction house, It's just to load everyone, and it's just super slow. And
You see that connection thing?
you're running into this invisible
The fates
wall.
can get like that, man.
You're running into this invisible wall. You don't know what it is, but it's a character they haven't loaded.
Oh my god. Oh man.
Boom, 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 boom.
You can have a lot of characters on screen, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I've seen tons and tons of people, especially towards the later game. Once you start doing, when you get to level 46, you could do certain quests, but a lot of people tend to grind it out on Fates, especially North Thanalan. I don't know.
Thanalan, I think.
Is that how it's pronounced?
I don't know.
Thanalan. Thanalan.
Xanagan.
Thanalan. So that place is just like the central hub for 46 to 50, and there's so many people, just so many.
So what's the
people.
max level? 50?
50 at the
Yeah,
moment.
right now.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that they release Musketeer because I'm
Yeah.
definitely looking forward to it.
And then they teach Black Mage Meteor.
He has it.
Already?
I think so. I think that's his limit break.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
The limit break. I think I've seen a picture of it.
So what's a Bard's limit break?
I know that the supports all get different limit breaks, but mostly they have to do with healing. The Scholar one is the best. If you have towards the end of the game, when you get into the 8-man raids, you get 3-bar limit breaks. So at the 3rd bar, everybody has kind of like a unique limit break. The Black Mages have Meteor. I haven't seen mine yet, so I don't know what it is. But
And you're playing Scholar?
no, I'm playing Summoner.
It's Remy is playing Scholar.
Yeah, he's playing Scholar.
Yeah.
The Scholar has the best 3-bar limit break, which is revive everybody that died.
Wow.
So you
That's
can
ever died.
The servers will crash.
It's awesome because you're in a fight. You're like you'll be doing hard mode for it, which I haven't done yet, but I've watched people do.
Yeah.
And you'll see like half the party wipes. So they save the limit break just for the Scholar, just so you can just revive everybody, and you're back in the fight.
Yeah,
and
but
you're
if they're
taking them out.
dying, it's because it's
Oh my
stupid.
God.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's not gonna help.
really bad. Yeah.
But what summons can you summon now?
You have the main 3 that are in the story, which is the Ifrit, Titan, and Garuda, but they're edgies, so they're the small versions of them.
Oh, but I guessing to get like their...
Yeah, it's not as impressive as it was in 11.
No, in
It's
11
a
it was
different
much
sort of
more
thing.
impressive. Yeah, you actually summoned like a real summon. And
It was like actually that.
But
Yeah.
even if you kill it for like you can't get him as well?
you get like a weird version. Of
Yeah,
them.
it's like a representation of him, like a smaller like
kinda
a thing.
like a chibi version of them.
yeah.
Oh wow.
But they still look cool. Like I like the Titan one because it's.
And it makes more sense. It's like they're giving you just a fraction of their power. You know, they're not going to be
You're
like,
right.
we're going to hang out for a while.
hey,
now.
we're buddies, right?
I can come over.
Hey, my wife's angry at me. Can I crash?
Exactly. He just has his little suitcase.
Oh man.
I was reading sorry to change the topic, but
No, that's okay.
one of the Nedroid comic books, and it's Bertato, and he's sitting on the recliner couch, and he hears a knock on the door, and he gets up, and he's like, "Who is it?" And he goes, "It's pizza." And he opens the door, and it's like literally a pizza with like a suitcase, and like his hands in his feet, and he's all like personified, and he's like, "Hey, can I stay with you for a while?" My wife, Marlene, she kind of kicked me out. He's like, "Sure, you can stay," but when you the hover text says, "This isn't what I ordered."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I always remember that.
It's pizza.
This isn't what I ordered.
I like that whole quantum CPU where they talk about the pizza bagel.
Oh, yeah.
Why do they keep? I didn't understand. Why do they keep bringing that up? And they kept showing the images of the pizza bagel.
Because they're showing like how it could be two things at the same time.
Yeah, like it could be a pizza or a bagel, and then it's a pizza bagel. Pizza, and then like if you hear it really close, you hear pizza. That'd be crazy, man.
Oh man.
That's awesome future though, man. We're getting there.
Yeah. I don't even think anybody really understands what the fuck you can do with that sort of shit.
I don't even think those people understand what the fuck they're doing with that shit.
Because I tried to, and it's some other shit.
What did they say was the magnitude of the chill in that refrigerator?
Oh, it's like 2 degrees like lower than interstellar space.
Interstellar space, which is apparently the fucking coldest shit.
fucking thing. Like, so you have to go in there with like this astronaut suit to like check.
You go in there.
You just stay there.
Like, the thing is, like, they have suits that like I feel like that it gets really close to like to like the cold capacity of how much the suit can withstand. So you just go in, and as you're going, it's frosty. The moment you just go in, just
I love
screams are frozen.
I love the whole thing on the Mighty Boosh when they go to the Antarctica thing.
The tundra.
The tundra, yeah. And he's like, the Black Frost, they have stories about him. They say it froze a man mid-speech. That it's just cop shit his way to craziest sound effect. The Black Frost.
You see, Howard, your mustache is like a cappuccino stick. His is a silver horseshoe.
That's awesome. Oh my god.
I'll never feel that one either, man.
It's like a cappuccino thing. What the hell?
What exactly do you think they can do with a computer like that?
Ask the question, what's the meaning of life? So they can get the answer 42.
Answer 42.
Yeah, they make it seem like it's gonna give you, like it's gonna be able to think beyond what anybody can do and do the things that we still can't do. Like if you were to ask, are we alone yet? It's gonna take into account all the different parameters and give you. It's almost as though it's gonna simulate all these things and take everything into account. Mm-hmm. It's like shit's there
based on like facts, statistics.
Yeah. Based on all the statistics that you can feed it. That's the thing. Like it's supposed to be able to like optimize like just information crunching. So it's supposed to, as the name says, quantify the ability to like crunch these numbers and just be able to tell you, like, I guess instead of a supercomputer nowadays that would probably take millions of years to answer that question, it may take like a week on that quantum computer. You know what I mean?
Where exactly did that response come from? With the 42 for like the
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
There you go. That's what it was.
Just
they built the most massive computer to ask it the meaning of life.
Yeah.
And after how many years was it?
No, first they asked it what question, like what was the question that they needed to ask.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm sorry. That was the second. They asked for what was the answer to life, the universe, and everything, and the answer was 42. It's like, what the fuck do you mean it's 42? Like, then it's like, what is that answering? Like, what is the question that is answering? And then they needed to think about it again.
That's right. Yeah, I need time to think. That whole story is just a big troll.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love that thing.
I always remember that part where was it Sam Rockwell where he comes out of the portal and just, no, I'm okay. Like, he just gets smashed and he just jumps right up.
Was that the president?
The president of the universe.
He kidnaps himself.
That's right. First order of business.
Swings off.
That's just awesome. First order of business. I'm kidnapping myself. Yeah. It just swings on the thing. That fucking movie was awesome, man. That book is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I ever saw that book, I was 5 years old. My aunt had it, and she told me like all about it because she had just gotten in. She loves reading books. It's crazy, man. And as a 5-year-old kid, I just was like, what?
I remember the scene where he's like, I'm from another planet. Like, getting on, like,
just looking up into this.
I'm from a different planet. That's it. Like, that's all he had to say.
All he had to say was, you want to check out my spaceship? That's it. Pussy.
He was the president of the universe, right?
Yeah.
I'm Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell is who again? What other famous movie did he come out in?
He was in Iron Man 2. He was in
Iron Man 2.
Yeah, he plays Justin Hammer.
Yeah.
The other guy.
He's the guy that starts talking to, was it Whiplash? Yeah, he's the one that he starts talking to me. He's like, so you helped like Stark with that technology, and he's the one that kind of starts to like make this business with him so that he can pretty much fund him and give him the resources and facilities to generate like the similar Stark technology to I guess compete against Stark.
So Whiplash was like an equivalent to Stark. He was like the Russian version of Stark or something like that.
No. He was just like a competitor, but he's far behind him. He's another weapons manufacturer guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he just made like regular weapons and shit. He didn't make crazy Iron Man.
Because in the way the movie started, I saw it such a long time ago. I can't be too sure, but
and Iron Man 2 sucks.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's not that good.
They made a Part 3 was a lot better, right?
Yeah. I like part 3 a lot.
Yeah, I like what you're...
There was like a newspaper article where it shows like them that they had worked previously, like him and this Whiplash guy or something, or they show that I don't know. Like I thought that maybe like they had worked on something.
It was
and that,
Stark's dad and Whiplash's dad.
Oh, that's right. And he got
Whiplash
screwed
is
over.
Yeah, they were both together, and then
they had a fallout,
and then he got deported or something, and
Stark deported him.
oh wow,
like a fucking asshole.
so he's got to take it on his son.
He just ate his fucking work visa.
What was that? The whole thing that he left like that VHS or like 8mm tape for his Tony Stark to figure out like the secret meaning of like energy source or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. Son, I've left you
this perpetual
ancient this ancient recording in the hopes.
I never knew that
8-track player.
those things were actually it's a real concept.
What is
the Tesseract?
The Tesseract?
Yeah, it's a real concept.
Isn't it a shape?
It's the shape of the hypercube.
Oh, okay.
And the hypercube is a 4-dimensional cube.
Yeah.
You know what was crazy at FIU? There was
the movie Hypercube.
about hypergraph.
Oh my.
But there was this guy who was doing I don't think it was a TED talk, that comes later. But he was doing it. He was from MIT and he was doing I guess class, more like a representation, talking about hypercubes and like 4th-dimensional shit and all sorts of stuff like that. And I was thinking about going to this thing, and I'm like, man, like it says like you don't need any prereqs to sit in this to like listen to it. You know, like you don't really need to be like a student in engineering. But still, like when you read like what he's gonna talk about, it's so like above everything. Like I don't even think like anybody in the engineering department could sit there and just like listen to this guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like it's one of those things where I kind of thought to myself, would this be something that like John Carmack would sit in and just be like, yeah, I know what this guy's talking about. Yeah, I'm out of here.
It's crazy shit. And it's this thing, man, but no one can see it right, and no one knows what it is correctly.
No one can eat it, and no one can shit it.
It's like no one on earth will ever see things
like,
this way.
I know what you're saying. I hear you, but nothing. Like nothing is going. I don't.
I've seen you before.
That was the best game, man. That honestly was
just that beginning, like beat the shit out of
everything about that game.
What game was that?
In Oblivion.
That was just the best game.
It starts off with Patrick Stewart coming to get you, like in the dungeon,
and it's just like he comes up to the front, and like you get close, and it just really closes up in his face. I've seen you in my dreams.
That's when you punched him in your face.
Because
I remember you going like his house and just like leveling up your punching skills. So Alex just punched everything.
Level up those punching skills on Patrick Stewart's face.
In the Assassin's Guild, there was a tiger like person, and you punched him and you started pulling his tail or whatever.
The best thing is when you would hide them under the table.
What?
When you would hide them under the table.
What, the bodies?
Yeah, and then they would wake up and go.
Oh, okay.
Just launch. Oh my god, man! I remember.
Man, you remember that vampire that was chasing you in the sun?
That guy chased me forever, dude. Forever.
Who was the one that opened like the haunted treasure chest and like an hour later finally decided to sleep and save the game?
You remember? No, it was damn. Like I think you fucked up something in the Assassin's Guild.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know when you fuck up
and
they send the ghost after you. and you. Like you did that shit a long time ago, and it's when you go to sleep.
Yeah.
And I think it took you a long time. You leveled up, and then it's like, all right, finally, you're gonna go to sleep, and you're gonna level up. Then you wake up with this ghost in your face, just chasing you like a fucking asshole.
Not only was like you also had the best noises too when like I did like that massive push. Fucking crazy.
You punch the ghost, it goes.
That's the one thing that is missing from that Skyrim is that monk class, man. That was my favorite thing.
Even the mod isn't that great. I mean, you get those other things and it's fine, but it's not like that, man.
That game was just awesome. You level up your block. I would always go into that fucking that one time where it was the guards. It was just a bunch of guards, and then the jail cell. I'd just be in there, like, just blocking.
Right in the guards' barracks.
Just blocking, and then fucking them up. Like, whenever I got like too low, like.
And it was just awesome too because you could do the duplication glitch. So it's like, all right, you're in jail. Like you would go and break in there, or just go to where the jail is. And you duplicate like 1,000,000 lockpicks, or the key or you just get the key.
Get the key and
you steal it from a fucking guard and you throw it in there. and then it's like, oh, you got thrown to prison. Are you gonna wait and lose like all this shit? No, I'm gonna pick up the fucking key to the cell and I'm gonna walk the fuck out.
And I'm taking names.
Exactly, and then you just leave the key back there. That's it.
That shit was awesome, man.
Yeah, it was a good setup.
So wait, did the key always stay there?
Mm-hmm. No, you just once you use it, like once you pick it up, you just throw it back.
You throw it back,
or you just leave like 1,000,000 lockpicks, and then you just auto lockpick the thing and destroy it.
Yeah, dude, that shit was fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, it's funny as hell. Like, you just like grab the key, throw it in there, throw it back in.
That's what's awesome about those games. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Can you push a guy? Can you throw a guy into the jail cell and lock it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and he will always be locked in.
That I'm not sure. I remember we were experimenting putting people halfway and closing the door, and like you saw like their legs would.
I did it in Skyrim too.
Really?
Yeah, it works pretty funny.
Oh man, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, I love taking pictures of all the like fucked up bodies and things like that. I forget, like in one of these first towns that you walk into after you complete the tutorial, like there's like a wheelbarrow with a bunch of watermelons or something in there. And then I was just doing like a couple of quests nearby, and then I come back to town, and then apparently they sent like these guys to come and kill me. And they ended up killing this one stupid archer guy that I was using to glitch like money and skill like with archery. They killed him and I got pissed. And then I ended up killing those guys, and then I stacked them all up into the wheelbarrow. And I think I have the picture. Let me see if I can find it.
That's awesome, man.
But it was funny as fuck, man. I loved it.
Was this from Skyrim or?
Yeah, from Skyrim.
Oh,
yeah.
You can do this shit. I don't think they had a lot of wheelbarrows.
No, they didn't.
In the other one.
That shit was awesome. No, the arena. Yellow team wins. Of course, yellow team fucking wins.
Yeah, and the best thing in the arena is I was an awesome archer. So I would always and I would have sneaking really fucking awesome. So as soon as the gates go down, I'm just already down. And when you're down, they kind of just walk straight because they don't see they don't see anything. So they're just going automatically. And I just stay down, and then I kind of aim it a little bit. Then I launch the arrow, and then you just see... You can't even see the guy. Then you just see... That's it. Yellow team wins.
It's like, that's supposed to be really tough.
It's like, every single guy, it's like, that's how I would just start it. Just,
damn, I forgot to bring Last Story, man. I remember.
Oh, no, that's alright.
Because I have an arena like mode there in Last Story. Oh, man. That game sounds funny as shit. I remember it's... Danny, like I told you guys that Danny had that thing where he would increase his moving speed.
Yeah, that's right.
So he could just keep picking up everything in this infinite inventory apparently that you have in Skyrim.
Yeah, your inventory is maximized in the sense like when you get over encumbered, you think to yourself, "Fuck, let me toss some shit out. Like I'm at my maximum."
Right, I get you. So
but you could go over that. It doesn't matter.
So they figured that the weight might help you gauge like how much you should carry.
Right.
And what your limits should be.
Like a normal person would be like, "Well, I can't walk, I can't run. I'm fucked. So let me drop some gear so I can be able to run."
Yeah.
But Danny just figured out pump them points.
Yeah, Danny didn't stop Danny.
No, and he didn't sell a goddamn thing. Kept it off.
Oh my god, man.
I do hate the weight shit in that game, man.
That was the casting class in that game. Like the
garbage. Skyrim's casting class is garbage.
I actually even hate the fucking like regular like sword and stuff. Like I don't like it. I prefer archery.
Yeah,
because like you can't fuck that up. Oh, you're pulling back and then you're shooting, and then you're doing it.
But when you swing with a sword, you can...
and it's dumb sometimes. It's just I don't know. It's better than it was in Oblivion.
Oh, way better. But still, like. If you're not meleeing in third person, it's a garbage like view because all you're seeing is just some guy going.
You can change the views. You can go.
Third person at first.
Yeah, when you do it in third person, it's a little more like I guess you can stand it a little better. But like that combat is just like garbage. It's just super garbage. Like you're just swinging for your life, which I understand. Like maybe that's like the idea, but it's like such a square, narrow swing. You know what I mean?
There's no real excitement when it's just all right. You're hitting, or he's blocking. It's just blocking, and there's no real like You know, like life or death thing. It's like, no,
This game
you're just chipping away at them for a while. With archery, it's just like they take a fucking arrow right to the brain. And
the one good thing about casting in that game is you can do illusionist, which allows you to influence people. And that my first character was a Puron illusionist, so I had like mastered that first before any other spell, class or whatever it is, or spell school. So pretty much I would go around like in dungeons, super weak, but I had like the master's mage attire, so like I had like fast regeneration and high spell and everything. You know what I mean? I wasn't into the crafting just yet, but if you craft your armor for like your illusion spells, you never have to spend mana. So you should never level up your mana. You know what I mean? It's almost like a waste of skill because you could just craft a gear that just gives you infinite mana. It's like you craft your gear that says. If you're casting illusion spells, subtract 25%. But you do that for every single piece. So 25% of the helmet, chest, gloves, hands.
So then you waste
nothing. If you go into the enchantment tree, you can put 2 enchantments at the end. Like if you like get enchantment to 100, to 100. You can put 2, so you would put that and like maximize spell damage by 25% on every single fucking piece. You know what I mean? So you're just there wrecking house.
So it's nasty damage for free.
Yeah, pretty much. So you never have to put points into like when you level up. You never have to put any points until like.
Yeah, that's what Dale was telling me. He was telling me that most of the stuff that you can actually enchant your armor with would be useless for you to spend your points on, like in your stats, like rather than like increasing a strength, just add more to like the armor.
Yeah, like I was completely sad that like at the end of the game, like I found that out because I'd wasted like building my guy as a mage. You know what I mean? Right. And I could have just made him like a badass fighter and just put mage gear on him and just gone to town and fucked everybody
and what's
else.
really stupid is like, you can put points into being better with light armor and stuff, and light armor is better because you don't make as much noise sneaking around and stuff like that. But if you master heavy armor, it's completely light and doesn't make any noise, so it's like there's no fucking point.
Yeah.
And it's dumb as fuck.
It's more like
it's a system built to make you regret like all your past decisions. That's it. It's a lot like life.
Oh my god. I think it's like a preference thing. Like you prefer to play a guy who has heavy armor and like a great axe, you could do that. Or you prefer to play a mage who does this or that, you could do that. Like everything is kind of like streamlined in that way. Almost like an MMO, which they're making.
Yeah, but I don't really care about it. I don't care about that world. It's uninteresting, you know?
It's very boring, yeah. Very boring. And, that's the problem I had with Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 is a game that was built on innovation. Everything about it is like next level bananas kind of thing, where, it's a fun, fast-paced game. The way the servers work, you can play with anybody on any server. It doesn't matter. You just add them to your friends list.
That's cool.
Yeah, everything was really forward thinking with that game. The one problem why I got to the end game and I could never get back into the game because everything was just boring. The color schemes were boring. The maps were boring. The people, the armor, like the races were all boring. Like the cat people were cool because they're like a warrior race. But then you get used to I guess they live in some stupid place where it's just barren land and piece of metal here and there. And
fucking metal.
Yeah, dude,
that's what the guy told him who was making the backup. We're gonna do the barren land, a piece of metal here, then watch out with that metal.
It's very boring. That game is just super boring. The fun thing about the game is the PvP, but after a while you get bored. It's just and that's the one weird thing 14 is just the world map, color schemes, everything. It's just enough to keep you interested, to keep coming back and wanting more.
Vibrant colors.
It is.
Compelling.
You don't see those screenshots?
Have you seen the screenshots?
Yeah, I know.
I edit them a little bit.
They're beautiful.
But they're going.
Oh my god.
This podcast became an infomercial too. It's a campaign to convince Valerie to start playing.
I just really hope that the game does World of Warcraft good, because it feels like you give Yoshi P that money, he's going to churn out awesome shit. I don't know how it is for World of Warcraft now, but I know that
they're not making any new expansions.
Well, I think that they might.
Oh my god!
Yeah, because
they're making too much money on it to stop now.
They lost a lot of subscribers, and I mean, I still think they're in the millions, like the single-digit millions, which I think is like 7, 8, which is a ton. Yeah. It's still a ton, but it's like from 11 to 8. That's a huge drop.
I have a couple of friends that are actually like, I ran into them not too long ago. I was like, "Oh, what's up? What are you guys doing?" Like, man, we've been just non-stop playing Final Fantasy 14. I was like, oh, my friends play. Like, oh my god, like, let me know what server they're on. Maybe we're on the same server.
Yeah, everyone's really friendly in that game, except when you're tanking.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're doing a bad job, or when fucking idiots think you're not doing the right job. But it's
man, but there's some babies. Like last experience, like I was telling you last time, and I was doing this like instant like run, and it was awesome, and it was going perfect, and then one guy was just like, hey, you're pulling too many mobs, you're not letting me experience the instance the way it's supposed to be experienced, and then the tank's like...
How are you supposed to experience it?
Like, he's like, I don't care, and then he's like... Then he starts making a big deal, then this tank starts being a huge baby, where he's like, no, I'm not going to continue playing the game, and we depend on the tank to fight the bosses, and he's refusing to fight the boss, and he's literally like, oh... I'm just gonna stand outside here, and he's jumping around, and he's just like eating shit.
Was he trolling you, or was
pretty much like he got pissed at that guy who told him like he was doing like or whatever job, or he was pulling too many people, or whatever, right? And that guy, he was an archer, and he would taunt he would end up like taunting the.
This is before they threw him in the brig. The game actually came out.
I fucking wish, dude. Like, it's impossible to report people that you instance with because they pull them from different servers. You know what I mean? So
it's random, like.
Yeah, and I wish I could like those. Like, there should be a way to punish people that troll like that, but it's.
I'm sure they'll put something in there.
It's almost impossible to like get something right though, because.
Are you guys on the same server?
No, not right now.
Oh,
I wasn't able to.
They're gonna open up the transfer
on the 15th, so that's when I'll switch over to this.
Nice.
Then we can actually
just get a friend party.
I remember that system, man. What a piece of shit that system was, huh? You get into the game, you have to go over like some guy, buy a friend pass.
Everything was a fucking nightmare, man.
And you have to, what is it? You have to give up like all your mission story quests. Like,
no, it's not. You have to make a brand new character.
No, they can transfer your character.
No, you don't get your levels. You don't at the beginning. I don't know if they changed it, but I remember right at the beginning you would transfer your guy, but you had to start over from fresh.
Because they changed it. Because I remember when I got a friend pass, like my levels were fine, but everything else, like your reputation, your like how many like mission story quests you've done, all that stuff, nothing.
I know that when you switch factions it's like that, but when I remember when the game first came out and you got a friend pass, you basically it start all over. And I one of the remember Chris and Manny and all those people.
Mm-hmm.
I remember they were playing, and I told them, "Oh, come to Shiva, I'll get you the friend pass." And they're like, "Hell no, I ain't starting over."
Oh my god!
Yeah, but now it's like, oh, you're fine. It's like for the first 5 days, that's the only thing you have to pay for. So did you have to pay for transfers in 11? I don't fucking care.
I forget.
I don't care.
You have to pay in-game currency. You buy the world pass. Oh wait, you're talking about like if you like a paid service kind of thing?
Yeah.
I think it was all done through the world, like the friend pass and all those things.
Whatever. Yeah, well, in 14 you have to pay for it, but it's not a problem at all. The only thing, you can't be in a free company, and that makes sense either way because
you're
that free company is not going to be on the other server.
And another thing you have to worry about is your name, because it could be taken first or last, so you might have to change one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not bad. I mean, sort of.
I searched. I always choose a unique name, so it doesn't even fucking matter.
Pablo has a unique name. Wixi Wakomenchenka.
It's Don Quixote de la Mancha.
I was playing, since I've been playing Monster Hunter a lot, I keep fighting this one guy, because the way that this guy in the forum explained in such a perfect sentence exactly what the game does, and I guess I'll explain the sentence afterwards, but I'm fighting this guy. I have all the armor and pieces that guy was possibly able to give me, like the pieces to generate the armor, except for one, and I had to research. It's like, how the hell do I get that one piece? I'm missing like the hat or something. Like, no, that was the chest piece. And each armor has specific skill abilities. So that monster gives you expert points. Points towards expert, and expert increases your critical hit. And since I play as an archer, I'm not going for attack, so I'll be like, oh damn, critical hit, I can do that. And I keep fighting, and then eventually, like, one of the guys online says, "Oh, you have to break the monster's tail." So then there's a lot of people that have like this really long debate about like whether the tail can only be cut with slicing damage weapons, or do you have to shoot it? And then this guy's like, no, just shoot it a million times and then make sure that the final blow is like a slicing thing. And then this guy's like, no, you're an idiot. The programmers deserve a little bit more credit. They've actually programmed like a slicing and piercing and bludgeoning weapons into the game, and they've given the tail, just the tail, like a 400-point durability that only gets depleted with slicing damage. And I'm like, damn, like that's so like that's very like precise.
Yeah.
And as an archer, you don't really get anything that does like slicing damage. Only if you get close enough, you can slice them with your arrow, and it doesn't really do much. But that's how I had to get the piece.
Oh, fuck.
But if you're a gunner, you get special shots. You get fire shots, and you get the slicing shots and the piercing shots.
Yeah.
So as a gunner, you can just like and then get cut the tail off or whatever.
I wish.
No, you just did it with your arrow.
And not just that, but for the majority of the fight, you have to fight the guy underwater. And when he usually does his forward like charge and tackle, he spins around way too much for you to even like aim at the tail. There's times where he runs away and he'll go into the surface, and that's your best chance because that's when he'll run and he'll tackle and he'll kind of like slide in the mud or in the water, and you go on the back and you're able to land 2 slices on his tail.
Yeah, but if you were using like a slicing weapon, it would be 2 substantial ones, right?
Exactly. Luckily, the armor did give me like a critical hit, so every now and then I would land a critical hit, and it's just such a pain in the ass, like that game. So what ends up happening is that the game has like this very like strict formula that it's happened to me a lot of times, and apparently a lot of people online, where I'm guessing they didn't mean for it to be like that, but they'll give you a really rare item that the guy drops. Like I was fighting this creature called a kurupeko or whatever, some stupid firebird, that when he jumps and he kind of like slams his wings together, he has these 2 flints that create a little like fire spark, and he does it like 3 times. Well, if you break the flints off, it's not guaranteed, but it increases the chances of you obtaining it. I'm guessing I must have done it by accident the first time I killed it, so they gave me 1 of the flintstones.
Flintstones.
And then I'm like, oh, if I had another one, I can create the bow that can create fire shots.
Yeah.
12 fights later, like after I finished killing him like 12 times, 12 other fights, they give me 6 of them. And that's that strict fight. We'll give you 1, we'll give you a taste, and then by the time you're tired as fuck and you don't want to continue fighting this guy, we'll give you an excessive amount.
Yeah, to the point when you don't want it anymore.
Exactly.
You're gonna get all of
and it's happened to me like that before. Same thing with this other guy. Oh, you got one of these Gobu fins. I only needed just 1. That you get it from the tail. I got 8. like 8 just from like the thing. I was like, I don't even need the rest.
You can have them.
That's crazy. And that's only when you harvest from them, right?
And Johan, poor freaking Johan, he's gotten into this guy named Diablos, where he needs to break both horns off of this huge like Diablo-looking dragon or whatever to increase the chances of getting this thing called the majestic horn that he needs for like this one last piece. And also you can capture them to increase the and he's done everything. He's broken everything off. He's captured them. He's killed them. He's broken every single possible part of that guy, and he's such a pain in the ass to fight. And he fought him 26 times.
God damn.
Like it's registered on the thing how many times he fought him. He's captured him like 18.
Oh shit.
He's killed him like a certain amount, and absolutely nothing. And that's all he needs. He's like, you know what? Fuck this guy. I moved on to the next guy because people like, online were complaining that the drop rates on that are just insanely rare.
I also heard like there's a weird thing in that game, like you might not be able to get certain things depending on like from the start of the game. I think there's some kind of like background like in the code where it's like
certain things are not accessible, or like
like certain things completely off limits. You're not gonna get them, or it's gonna be such a pain in the ass. Like I think I was reading up on that game, and it does something like that.
Wow.
Where it's really fucked up, and people are like, it's fucking bullshit.
I wonder why they do that.
I don't know.
Did they program it into the game, or did they like something a glitch that happened?
I don't know.
It sucks, folks. It fucking sucks. We can end it right now. It's getting to the 50-minute mark.
Alright, whatever you want. I mean, it is kind of late, right?
Yeah.
You might want to get some sleep. You gotta work.
Yeah, I do gotta work early in the morning.
You gotta work those glutes.
Oh, girl.
But fuck that game, man. It's a love-hate thing because like when it's good, it's good. Like when you're on a roll and you get all these rare drops and everything, you're like, oh my god, I'm getting somewhere.
It's an abusive relationship.
I'm doing nasty damage, but then at the end you're like,
in that relationship.
Shit.
You're doing nasty relationship damage.
And I struggled so hard because number one, like the bow is like the most unrecommended like weapon to use.
Yeah,
it's weird how they'll have like a weapon like that. You know, like you figure that they'll build the game with a certain set amount of weapons, right? And they'll be like, great, let's find the places for these things to be viable in any situation. You know what I mean? It's like you know, you have like slicing weapons, piercing weapons, all sorts of stuff like that, and then they'll say like, okay, people that will use these martial weapons will probably have like at least a lance, a sword, and whatever else equipped.
Right.
So they'll walk around with martial weapons. So someone who wants to play ranged will probably have to walk around with a gun, a bow, and something else. So then you figure, okay, this situation requires a gun, this situation requires the bow, this situation requires the balls. You know what I mean? And they're in there.
But the thing is, I guess the reason why they try to do that is we could, Johan and I, we can kill the same guy like a million times, and I could make the bow from the parts that he drops, and he can make a great sword. Now, I remember I asked him, I was like, how often do you hit the guy? He's like, probably like every 30 seconds. I'll go in and I'll get like 1, 2, or maybe 3 good hits. And that's with a sword, because the great swords is like the highest.
Slow as fuck too.
They're slow, but they like with 800 attack.
Damage, yeah.
But with a bow, I could just constantly be like this. And it's like the shittiest damage. Like my attack is probably like at 180 right now. So I'm just like, like I'm just trying. Then I gotta dodge, keep my distance, keep going. If he gets too close, I can slice him.
It's nice. I like the long sword because it'll like the combos will like get you out of the way and stuff like that.
He actually fell in love with the katana. Yeah. Like for nasty damage, he does the battle axe.
Oh, that switch axe.
The switch axe. That's the one.
That's fucking crazy.
But he fell in love with the katana, so he has all these katanas that he makes. I really like that they, you know, they keep like a theme to it. Like, oh, like the bow actually looks like the bird that I killed. Like its bill.
Yeah.
The actual,
it's actually
like,
made out of fucking monster parts.
Like it has these 2 huge feathers that are like the ends of the bow, and its bill is like the little tunnel where the arrow gets shot through.
Mm-hmm.
But because there's a flint that's integrated on it, like it creates a spark that deals a fire damage.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, like I see how they're doing it, and other weapons are kind of like that.
Yeah, they're themed.
And the armors always look awesome, especially like
that's what that game has. Just cool fucking armor and weapons, but like it's not fucking worth it. I don't think it's worth it at all.
I remember John showing me this one.
Fun.
Yeah, but they don't make that like I never felt streamlined enough where you could just get in there and have like a good time playing. It's like it feels like it's kind of a pain in the ass to just organize it, you know.
I can say this much. I remember John showing me this commercial for Monster Hunter when it came out for the PSP, and it was I guess it was supposed to be the typical Monster Hunter experience, right? And it was this Japanese guy laying down in bed, and he's playing it, and it's kind of like from the side of the bed, and you see he's playing it, right? And then it gets like a view of like what he's doing in game, right? And you see he's going after this monster and he's trying to kill it, but then another monster attacks him and like makes him roll and all sorts of stuff, right?
That is the worst.
And then he's there, and then the ending of the commercial is just him turning on his side and going.
It is the worst.
That's what they're trying to sell you. That experience of like, fuck.
And
that's the worst thing too, man. It's like
the thing is, the bird caused 2 little guys, or any 2 little guys that are near the area, and this thing called like a great jaggy. It's like a T-Rex. But then when he growls, he calls 2 little T-Rexes. So it's like it's you against like Jumanji. And so the one thing that I did is that I just kept concentrating on that T-Rex to the point where he would run away because I hurt him too much, and then I'd keep shooting the bird. And if the bird called him again, he'd come back. I shoot him like 4 or 5 times, and then like he has to rest, but the bird keeps calling him. So I just kept him at bay just like that. And that bird, man, is the biggest piece of crap. And you'll be there, and you're like, okay, he growled, and you'll see when the guy came in, but you don't want to stop to turn around and stop what you're doing, especially when you got an advantage on the guy. It's just out of nowhere. and this one dragon hit me off a waterfall.
Yeah, fuck.
And I had to go like all the way around to come back, and I'm like, what happened?
It's like the animated GIF of Dark Souls. You remember?
Oh my god!
Like that stupid fucking skeleton.
Why?
Yeah, that he kicks him off the ledge.
It's this real narrow ledge, and he sees a guy there, and he's like,
Oh,
all right,
that's right.
I'm gonna get this guy.
One,
And then the motherfucker from the side already knows. He just
He's just kicking. Whoop.
this is madness.
And the thing is, he was getting
kicked him
ready,
right
like
the
he
fuck.
swung, and he's getting into like his defense. I'm gonna hit this guy. Ding!
Kicks him right the fuck off. Man.
That game is
Do
awesome.
you have to start all over after that?
You start at the beginning of the map, and you have no souls, etc., etc. One of the biggest things in that game is if you have humanity, you collect humanity. You can have up to 10, I think, or I think it's more now, but I remember it being a maximum of 10 when I played. The higher you have your humanity, the more damage you do with certain weapons, and the more chance you have of like rare drops. So you want the high humanity
to maintain like that number.
Well, you want the high humanity just so that when you
So
go
you can
into
be a good dude.
what happened?
So you could be a good dude.
No. So you can get good loot from other people because certain creatures will drop certain gear, and that gear is really, really
We should
good.
probably call it something other than.
So if you were to compare like Monster Hunter to Dark Souls,
I would say Dark Souls is the better game.
no, but like difficulty wise,
Kinda.
like which
Except
is
it's not just all
more
like,
frustrating. Like
More frustrating,
but there's a lot of
yes.
like enjoyment out of like figuring that stuff out.
Yeah, because-
not like in Monster Hunter where it's like it's just because you manage not to get hit by a thing. Like he's hitting you. Like I don't know. It's fucking ridiculous in Monster Hunter.
I would say
They're supposed to do that to you.
the main difference would be the factor that it's considered like a hard puzzle to solve. It's not hard because it's annoying. It's hard because it's there to challenge you. So you already know this going in, and you fight your way through that, and you get frustrated because you know it's hard, etc., etc. But it's not the same as you go. They gave me a mission. I'm gonna go out into this field, and it's like, fuck, stop, stop,
I got honey on my knees.
You know what I mean? Like it gets annoying after a while, but it's not in the same vein, I suppose. You would have to play both games.
I haven't really played.
You really should though. Like
It's a really fun game.
no PS3,
bro, get a PS4.
Tough.
no PS4.
Get a PS4.
I don't know.
You get one at Taco Bell. Really?
That's right.
Got that Taco Bell, Brandon. PS4.
I was talking to Oscar when we were working in the warehouse, and he's like, "Are you gonna get a PS4?" He's like, "Nigga, Taco Bell's gonna give me 4 PS4."
Oh,
Get my shit right, Maui. It's like, "You're helping me, I ain't helping you."
that guy's fucking crazy.
That sounds awesome. We got an hour?
We got 2 minutes to kill.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah, we should at least make it an hour, unless
2 minutes. To
otherwise, then we can go over.
So Pokemon, the new Pokemon,
Yeah.
awesome.
Get that Pokemon in.
Man, Poke.
It's really a game. Graphics are
It's got graphics.
Wait,
it's got control.
It's about time.
Maui's got 2 minutes. Go as fast as you can do.
okay. The graphics is only a matter of time. It's really good. All the features in that game are really incredible. The visuals are obviously like what you would like expect a Pokemon game to be, especially now with like the way the devices are. I guess could graphically generate everything, especially on the 3DS.
Alright, that's a minute on graphics.
Yeah.
You literally got a minute.
Pokemon is graphics.
I guess a lot of the story actually lends itself to the nostalgia, especially when they made that evident with reverting the EXP share back to like the way that they can the EXP shares on all your party Pokemon, and the way they actually had the professor give you a first generation starter like a Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle.
You're gonna have to go into the battle systems. Then.
The battle system is pretty much typically the same. I'm sure that I haven't really explored too much about it. There's a lot of moves that have gotten upgraded, and a lot of move typings that have been switched to accommodate the fairy typings. There's a lot of bugs at the beginning, which is good for me. I'm a bug type user. It's been so far the only new bug I've seen so far is that stupid ass Pupa guy. But all the bugs that I've caught so far from previous generations, they actually offer them pretty early in the game.
Okay, opinion on Omega Evolution.
You get the
you're coming down to the
you get the
And
roller
that's our
skates.
time.
You get the roller skates really early on in the game before the gym leader, which I think is actually a lot better than the bike. You get to put accessories on your guy. You got to give him a little Van Dyke mustache. You got to use your money to buy like your hats and distinct yourself from other players. Mega Evolutions, I haven't gotten that far yet into
Last
the game.
15 seconds.
But I'm gonna get to it. I did get the Venusaurite, which is the mega.
Make a major spoiler right now. Major spoiler.
And Mewtwo kills Dumbledore.
And that, everybody.
And that's all hour. We'll see you all next week.
And we're never gonna talk about like that's all you need to hear.